You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Welcome back to I Am Refocused Radio. Once again, we are here today, and we have a special guest today. I mean, you guys know who he is. We have the one and only Carson Lueders. He is the star of the new film, Beyond Belief. You can go to the movie website, beyondbelief.movie, but it's all about an inspirational film about ambition, grief, faith, and discovering that God's plan for your life may be bigger than the one you ever imagined. First and foremost, cutting to the chase, I want to say to you, man, I know you swamped and busy with your schedule, man, but thanks for squeezing some time with us. How you doing, man?
Of course, man. I'm doing well. Actually, back home right now in Spokane, Washington. So we've had a fun week. I've been able to see my little nephew. So we just getting ready for the launch. And yeah, happy to be here with you, man.
I had the honor to screen this movie, and wow, you talking about a nice storyline, man. Great job to you and the whole crew and everyone.
Thank you so much.
Had to get that out there, man. So first question will be, what made you say yes to this project, and what do you believe kind of stuck out to you in wanting to do this?
Yeah, I think that initially when I first heard about the role in this whole movie entirely, I kind of felt like it was a role tailored specifically towards who I am as a person. So I was, obviously I grew up very strong in my faith, and I kind of just felt like this was a role that God had placed in my life. And I kind of just, once I read it, I was like, man, if this is his will, just really happy and excited for that opportunity. And I think that one of the really cool parts of that was the music being backed by Petra. And my dad was actually a huge Petra fan back in the 80s. So it was kind of a full circle moment for him and for the whole family. So yeah, I think it's just one of those tailored roles to where, it felt like a no-brainer to me.
And like you said, it takes us back to the 80s. So if you all like the sounds of the 80s and the music, yeah, you're going to have some nostalgia there. When you think about your character, Andy, and wow, once again, you played that role really great. What was it like to get you so prepared to get inside that character and translate it on screen?
I think what's important when looking at Andy's character is just first acknowledging, what he's going through, and he's really going through this like self-character development, and he's trying to find who he is. And obviously he has his goals and dreams of playing in the Battle of the Bands and doing music. But I think what's cool about his character is how he was placed in different moments for different reasons. And I connected with that a lot. And I think I was able to kind of jump into some of those, why am I doing this? And, ultimately for that bigger purpose and plan of what God has for your life. And I think it's easy for me to get wrapped up in like success and, being in music, you got numbers and streams and just trying to be the best you can be. But ultimately, I think that with doing the role, I was able to connect, just again, a lot with that purpose. And, sometimes God has you in a different place for a certain reason. And I think I was able to kind of tap into that and trust in God's plan more.
Once again, let's Refocused Radio and talking to our guest today, Carson Lueders, and all about the movie Beyond Belief. Go to the website, beyondbelief.movie. It is going to be in theaters nationwide beginning August 28th. Man, I have to talk about this a little bit. So everyone who knows you outside movies, this is your first feature film leading role, is that correct? And if so,
it is.
How does it feel to have that underneath your belt now? Because people know you as a music star as well.
You know what? It's really cool. Again, I think that it's one of those things that I think I still maybe haven't really wrapped my head around, that, I did play the lead. But again, I think that it goes, the story goes so much deeper than that. And, obviously I could sit here and talk about how amazing my cast and the entire crew was. But I think just the whole journey of being on set and doing that was really special to all of us. And I'm just hoping that it can play, and it have an impact on so many people. And I think that's what's going to be most rewarding, is just seeing, that personal, relation and impact that people can pull from the film.
You also had a music video. Tell us a little bit about that, because that has been getting pretty popular as well. And I'm not trying to say popular in a bad way, but as in
yeah.
a compliment.
No, I appreciate it. I think that those songs were really cool. Brian Whitman was our lead with the music, and I think that the songs were able to play into that whole era of music. And obviously when you're trying to replicate something with Petra, you want to make sure you do it well. And I think it was just really kind of surreal to be a part of that process, and just so many talented people working together, and the music videos were awesome. We had a good time. The first one, One Life, was kind of more of a behind the scenes look to it. And then the Only One That Saves is going to be next. We're actually dropping that this weekend. So, really excited about that one. And they were just really fun and kind of surreal when we first performed those on set. That was the first time everyone kind of got to see it all come together. So it was a cool moment.
There is a character in the film, I won't spill the beans, but let's just say Grandpa. What was it like building that? How can I say this? I don't want to spill the beans, but just building that relationship throughout the movie, because it gets really interesting, and it's almost like the longer you watch, it's like, wow, I'm catching on what Grandpa's trying to say with his message.
I think that with Grandpa Jake, it's one of those mentor moments. Everybody has someone they look up to, and I think it was awesome that I was able to share that with Grandpa Jake in the film. I think that he does such a great job, trying to instill that work ethic into me, because every kid is like, man, I got this all figured out. I'm gonna do this, this, and this. And he's like, if you want to do it, you got to follow this. So it was a cool moment, and he's just an awesome guy, and it was a real pleasure working with him.
And let's just say you did a little training with Grandpa, so I have to ask you this. Was it really hard training, or were you acting in the movie as well?
You know what? It actually was hard, because there's just so much running that I grew up running, and I enjoy doing it, but I don't think I realized how much of it was. And when you're filming a movie, they got to keep going, take after take. And sometimes it was just, we were on this big property in Chicago, and it was like, just take laps around the farm, and they'd send up another drone and be like, all right, let's run it back. And those are those moments you're like, oh, you got to be kidding me, and just keep going. But it was actually pretty physical. I think that I definitely had it was funny. They started applying the fake sweat, but by the end of, I'd get into the working out and running and stuff, and they wouldn't have to do any more after like 5 minutes. So
when you think about the process of being in a film, I mean, like I said, it doesn't look like this was your first time. You honestly, personal review, you look like you've been a veteran on screen. So hopefully you have a lot more coming after this, because, wow. That's all I can say. My personal review is, wow, you really did it, man. The storyline and the way you delivered, it really drew the message home. And personally speaking, it's a really great message, and it will humble a lot of people, and also it will give people hope who feel like they lost a lot of important things in their life. So just kind of get your feedback, being able to be part of something that is so message driven, not just faith, but something that's powerful that people can relate to. How important was it for you to understand the importance of the film overall message?
Well, I think you said it greatly. It has a message of hope, and I think that was the biggest, refreshing part of working on a film like this. Is you're all trying to get together to do something and put out a positive piece of work. So I was obviously just excited when I saw that, and I think we want the audience to be able to relate to it, but then also look and see, like, what does happen if you trust God's plan, or what does happen if even the door you thought you had to, go through didn't get opened, and, instead you're doing something else. I think a lot of people will be able to, pull to that. And again, I think it was a real pleasure that I got to be a part of somebody's, story that, this script, I think it was written for the first time like 8 or 9 years ago. So a lot going into that. And again, just blessed to be a part of it. I think it's really impactful, not on, for just others, but me as well.
You are tuning in to I'm Focus Radio, talking to our guest today, Carson Lueders. Go to the website of the movie, beyondbelief.movie. It is going to be released nationwide beginning August 28th. When you think about young people today, I mean, you're still young. You're still doing your thing as far as growing up and chasing your dreams. When young people leave the theaters, what do you hope that the conversation next will be? Because there's a lot of tension with friendship, there's tension with family, but at the end, man, just watch the movie because you're going to see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that, what I hope that people, leave the theater thinking about is just, who can I be as a person? How can I be, positive and make an impact in someone else's life? Because a lot of times it's so easy to look at yourself and be like, I want this, I want that. But, sometimes we can help others. And I think, when you do give, is also when you receive a lot. So I hope that younger people are inspired to not only live their dreams, but also help others and just be that positive role model to, to your friends, family. And again, also just realizing that, we all go through this kind of stuff. Nobody's perfect. People go through, ups and downs, and being there for each other is definitely important. And just the real message is just have that hope and keep the faith.
My last question for you, because I promise you we'll have you out on schedule top of the hour, and that is, when you think about the impact that you have with your status and your platform, what do you see next for Carson? I mean, I kind of teased it earlier, man. Hopefully there's a lot more movies on the way for you, because, man, you did your thing. What's next for you?
I appreciate it, bro. I think that what's next for me is, definitely want to release more music and just make a new body of music after this, but also just seeing what comes across the desk. If it's more movies, I would love to explore that. Like I said, I had a great time filming the movie, and I knew that if I enjoyed that this was something that I would always be open to doing more of. So I definitely had a great experience and would love to do that. I think a lot of people don't realize how close you get with the cast and crew while you film together for a month and a half. And I think that's just what's special, is being able to connect with new people and make those relationships and connections. And if it's more acting, I would love to do that. But just kind of keeping the horizon open, seeing what the Lord has for me.
Been talking to Carson Lueders. He is the star of Beyond Belief, the new inspirational film about ambition, grief, faith, and discovering what God's plan for your life may be bigger than what you ever imagined. I'm telling you, Shemaya Reed, I'm Focus Radio is co-signing. You need to go out to the theaters nationwide beginning August 28th. Go to the website, beyondbelief.movie, and go check out the film. Once again, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.